Hi besties, if you're new to reading and would like to get into the thriller genre, here are some books I would recommend to you. I am doing a little segment here where I am going to give you book recs for those of you who are new to reading or wanting to get into specific genres. And this one is for thrillers, so specifically just regular thrillers. There are like psychological thrillers, there's like horror thrillers, so we will just start off with Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the only book that I ever guessed the plot twist in it. And I was mad. I was so mad. I love it when a thriller catches me off guard. But this one, I knew. I knew, and I was upset. I was excited, but I was upset. I was like, wow, I guessed it. This one follows Laurel. Her daughter unfortunately disappeared several years ago. And then one day, several years later, after she's, healing and all that stuff and working on through life, she meets this man at a little coffee shop. And as she's meeting and talking with this man, she's gone on like a date or so, things start to kind of get a little serious, and she meets his daughter. She notices that she kind of looks very similar to her daughter. So she obviously goes down kind of like a rabbit hole in figuring out who this man is, who his daughter is, and why she looks so familiar to her missing daughter. It was pretty twisty. It was kind of a very, very messed up storyline, so just keep that in mind. It was still a pretty good story. I definitely would recommend in general Lisa Jewell's books. I've read a couple of hers, but the only ones that I actually have on hand is this one and None of This Is True. That one I listened to on audio, and it was like a podcast, like a little thriller crime podcast, and it was so fun to listen to. I mean, the storyline was crazy, but nonetheless, I definitely recommend at least Lisa Jewell to start with, and especially this one. Obviously, anything by Frida McFadden. She is such a good, twisty, quick thriller writer. Any book you could start with. I just grabbed Neverlie because it was on top of my stack. I've read 9 Frida McFadden books so far. She has several, so you have lots to pick from. This one specifically follows, truly, I'm gonna just read off the back because I remember the gist, but I don't remember exactly. It's been so long since I read this one, but it follows newlyweds. Trisha and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams, but when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hill, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace 4 years earlier, a violent winter storm traps them at the estate. With no chance of escape until a blizzard comes to an end, in search of a book to keep her entertained until the snow abates. Trisha happens upon a secret room, that contains audio transcripts from every single patient Dr. Hale has ever interviewed. As Trisha listens to the cassette tapes, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to Dr. Hale's mysterious disappearance. Trisha plays the tapes one by one late into the night. With each one, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place. Dr. Adrian Hale's web of lies slowly unravels, and then Trisha reaches for the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying truth. Yeah, it was... I remember I read this in like a day or two, and the twist, the shock, I was like, oh my god. So this one is definitely my favorite one out of all of them that I read so far. I just did a ranking. If you want to see that, it's in my page. But I loved the twist. I loved the pace. I loved her book. I love most of her books. They're so fast paced and they keep me entertained, especially this one. I ate this one up so quick. So this one I specifically 100% recommend, but truly anything from Frida McFadden you can definitely try. A lot of people started with The Housemaid. So either or, whatever you want, I recommend either way. These two are by the same author, Robin Harding. I started with The Arrangement. This one was my favorite one so far. This one follows a girl and she's in college. Okay. She is, of course, struggling financially, and one of her classmates that she goes to school with, who is living a very lavish life, by the way, she asked her, like, hey girl, how are you living like this? And the girl was like, okay, friend, let me put you on. She's an SB. Yeah. And she points her in the direction. She helps her get set up on the sites and everything and how to meet people. She ends up meeting somebody and she starts to cross the line a little bit between if it's just a regular SB relationship or she's starting to think like a real relationship is coming up. Mind you, he is a married man, and one day she goes to meet him and she ends up finding his body. So it was definitely a whirlwind. I was like, dang, like I was kind of taking notes for myself, but but no, I'm just kidding. It was definitely a really good one. Definitely recommend as an entry thriller. And then definitely to start with as well, I would probably start with this one. As an entry level, I definitely still recommend. It follows a family and they're huge, huge web of secrets. Okay? There's a mother, a father, a daughter, and a brother. Okay? They all have so many issues going on with themselves and secrets that they're hiding from each other. And then one day their house starts being vandalized. So they're like, what's going on? Is it what I'm doing? Like, is this the reason? So they start blaming themselves, but then they try to talk to each other in the sense of like, if you know anything, like, let's figure this out. But they don't tell each other. And of course it gets to the point to where they unfortunately they have to tell each other. I was like, y'all could have just talked this out a long, long time ago. Like, I was like, okay. I was so beside myself. Like, why are we hiding secrets? Mind you, I get the kids. The parents aren't like the most parently parents. But why are we keeping secrets? I hate secrets. I mean, I get it. There are things that obviously, you know, you don't want to tell people, especially your parents. But like that stuff, I was like, absolutely not. And the last one I would definitely recommend is Unmissing by Mina Kent. The other book I read by Mina Kent was the Stillwater Girls. Yeah. And that one was really good too. But this one I really, really loved. Okay. So this follows Lydia. She went missing 10 years ago. She was abducted. She has a husband. Unfortunately, it's been a decade, so he did have to move on with his life, blah, blah, blah. He did get married to a new woman. When Lydia reappears, she goes to his house. She meets the new wife. If I literally escaped from like literal hell and I try to go to I try to go home and my husband's new wife answers the door, I would be done. I would be done at that point. So new wife answers the door, and mind you, they all thought she was dead. They all thought she was dead. And so when she's like, "Yeah, I'm Lydia, girl. I was missing. I was abducted. I'm here." The new wife, her name is Merritt. She was like, "Girl, no, I don't believe you." So she sent her on her way, and she. She's very skeptical. She's very skeptical. Once her husband confirms that that is his wife as well, things get messy. Things get crazy. Of course, because, you know, their life gets turned upside down now that his wife is back, his first wife. And the shock at the end, the twist, as the story unraveled, was insane. I could not believe my eyes while I was reading this. So this one, at the very least, 100% recommend. This one is a little more twistier. I don't even know. It's not like advanced. I don't know why my brain is like, there's an entry, there's more advanced and whatever, like it's levels. I don't know. It just kind of makes sense in my brain. But this one's a little bit of a step up between at least the Robin Harding, but nonetheless, all of these books are amazing in their own way, and I still 100% recommend them. So that is my little list of books that you can start with to get into the genre. If you have any other questions or any other genres you want me to try to give you a list for, I can definitely do that, but I will continue this series nonetheless. If you want more bookish content, feel free to subscribe and follow on my other social medias. They will be at the end. If you have questions, concerns, comments, love, whatever, any other ideas you want to see from me, definitely put them in the comments. I love you so much.